that it was a choice. God gave him a birthright, but he had a choice to give his birthright, natural born birthright. It wasn't a law, it was no mandate that he had to keep it. Yeah. So Jacob outwitted him in his hunger. So us as Christians, we have a natural born birthright from God, and I just want us to keep it and not give it to the food industry and the medical industry.
That's good, babe. And just to add to that, God created food to sustain us, to energize us. He didn't create food to control us, and we're being controlled by food. We're having lack of self-control, and that's Satan's all in that as well, because these companies are putting additives, putting chemicals and stuff in the food that, is making us addicted to this food as well.
And just to add to that, why do you think they call it the Food Drug Administration? The food industry is in bed with the pharmaceutical industry. So you eat enough fast food, you eat enough toxic food, eventually you're going to be on some type of drug or medication, and you feel like you need it to survive. So they're partnering with each other, and it's right there in plain sight. So just be mindful of that.
Yep, the root of money is the love of money, the root of all evil. All right, so next, we are called to think multi-generationally. So Proverbs 13:22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So we know that the wealth that is discussed here is more so in the sense of like land and resources, material possessions. But I believe that this can also be applied to our health. Oftentimes, especially in the Black community, we will say stuff like, diabetes runs in my family, or high blood pressure, runs in my family. But we don't really take a step back to think why, or dissect why this is running in the family. And if we really take a step back and dissect that, a large part of it is because we're basically passing down unhealthy eating habits down to each generation, unhealthy ways of cooking generationally. So we are eating the same survival foods that our ancestors ate. So, like with pig feet, for example, a lot of the soul food things, our ancestors ate it because of survival. That's all they had. But we're continuing to eat this stuff, and most of us in here have the resources to eat otherwise, but we're choosing not to. So a lot of when we first became vegan and we were telling people we were vegan, we heard quite often, first the question why, and then we heard often, I can never do that because I can never give up steak, or I can never give up chicken, I can never give up cheese. And I understand that. When I love fried chicken, it was hard for me to give that up. It was hard for me to give up ribeye steaks. But my question to you is, you're saying that you can never give that up, but if we're supposed to think multi-generationally, are you not thinking about your children? Would you not do it for your children? We shouldn't be passing down unhealthy eating habits down to our children. Right. Secondly, our children are being attacked. So marketers, food companies, they spend billions of dollars marketing junk food and convenience foods to our children. And as we seen in the last slide, we see the statistics. 1 in 3 is overweight children in America. 1 in 6 has learning disabilities. 1 in 9 has asthma. 1 in 12 has food allergies. 54%, half of all children have a chronic illness or are overweight. Wow. So according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly half of all, and they're definitely targeting our children, Black and brown children. They're definitely targeting our children. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly half of all Black adults are obese as are 20% of kids. It suggests that fast food chains, soda makers, and snack vendors increasingly are targeting Black teens and children. African American children and teens saw more than twice as many ads for sugary drinks and energy drinks on TV compared with white children and teens. Just as beverage companies are spending more money to target Black youth, they're also pursuing Latino youth as well as other youth of color.